In this video, we are going to discuss what are the data types in C language. As per the name suggests, data, it is related to the numbers, values, and how we use it. We are going to discuss here. In any programming language, our motive is to take some data, process on it, and give the output. As we know, the data is very important. That is why to how to divide this data into categories is at the same time very important, because we are going to use various type of data. The data can be an integer, the data can be a character, the data can be a real or float value. So upon this, there are four categories divided in C language to define a data, and that four categories are int, float, float, char, and double. So let us discuss one by one what is the use of int. Int is used to store integer values, values. So what are integer values? Values without a decimal is called integer value. Okay, so what is float value? Float is used for to store real values. That means value which are which have decimal point with them. Character or char is a data type, and it is used to store characters. Char is used to store characters. So what are characters? Characters are nothing but a single value which is stored in single quotes. That means this is a character, and this can be a character. In double single quotes, we can have this as a character. So all these are characters. All these are character. And what double is used for? It is also used to store real values, but it stores the value more precisely. And let us see how much memory is allocated to each of them. So in my machine, integer takes 4 bytes of memory. 4 bytes means 32 bits memory is allocated to int variable, and float consumes 4 bytes of memory. Characters consume 1 byte of memory. Double consumes 8 bytes of memory. So this is the memory allocation or memory allocated to each of the data types. So what data types do? Data types restrict the user to input some value. That means if someone is defining, some user is defining a variable as integer int type, then he can store the value which is allowed only. That means the value which can be stored in 4 bytes, up to that value only a user can input. If user is defining a variable as a char variable, that means he can only store the value which is adjusted in 1 byte of memory. So this is the use of data type, that it restrict the user to store, to put some certain values, and it also defines which type of operation we can do on some data. That means we cannot add two characters we cannot add s and 8 because they are not addable. But at the same time we can add two integer, we can add 4 plus 5 and we can give an answer 9, but we cannot add two characters. So this is how data type is important. So there is one more operator used in C language, that is size of operator, which gives the size of an variable, that how much memory is allocated to some variable. So let us try to find what is the use of size of operator. We first write some basic code, that is hash include stdio dot h int main. In that we have to put a block, and in that block there is a one more important thing to note, that in C language we have to first declare the variable before using it. That means if I have to use a variable, then I have to first specify that which type of variable it is, so that compiler can think that how much memory is to be allocated to this variable. So let us say I'm creating a variable of integer type and I'm giving it a name of the name a. We have to put a semicolon after it to close the statement, and I'm creating another variable of float type, float b, let's say, another variable char c, a double variable double d. Let us try to find out what is the use of size of operator. So I want to print what is the size of a, so I will write print. So if you are following my previous video, in those videos I have said that printf is used for two purposes. That is first for printing a simple string, and now we are going to see what is another use of printf. Printf is also used for printing the value of variable. In that case we have to pass two arguments to printf. That is the first is the format specifier, that means which type of value the variable contain, and secondly is the name of variable. So I'm defining the format specifier as %d because my variable contain an integer value, and in second argument after a semicolon I'm passing that variable. So in spite of passing the variable, I'm directly giving it size of a. So let's see what will be the output, and similarly I will copy it. So let us see what will be the output of all these statements, and at the last return 0, return 0. Build and run. So as you can see that I have forgotten to change the value of variables, so all the variables are same a, so it is giving the answer 4, my mistake. So if I will change it and change it to b and change it to c and change it to d, and let's say what happens, and I'm providing an escape sequence \n to change the line, and I have discussed what is the use of \n also, \n, and let's see what is the output. So you can see that I'm getting the size of a as 4 bytes. All these numbers are in bytes. Size of b is 4 bytes. Size of c, that is character, is 1 byte. Size of d that is 8 bytes. Okay, so we are getting what is the size of some particular variable. So this is it for now. Thank you for watching.